of Afterlife by Birth, Section 4. Conclusion. Part 1. The output side of death. To understand how afterlife works, I want to look at the diagram here. We are going to look at birth in a limited sense first to get an idea of the type of thing that happens at the end of life, as shown here. Here is how afterlife works. 1. Starting at the left side of the diagram, we have a cube, 1 unit by 1 unit. 2. It passes through birth where it gets expanded 10 times to become a cube 10 units by 10 units. This is us during life between birth and death. This is what we are now. 3. The cube passes through birth again, however this time it goes in as a 10 unit cube. 4. At death, it gets multiplied 10 times again, exactly like at birth. 5. This time it comes out as a cube 100 units by 100 units. This is the type of thinking you need to apply to afterlife. It is an expanding of life by the exact same ratio that took place at birth. To further define that ratio, look at this equation here. The equation is set up as follows. 1. The ratio on the left includes what goes into birth on top divided by what comes out of birth on the bottom. 2. The ratio on the right includes what goes into death on top divided by what comes out on the bottom. 3. Because the two ratios are equal, solving for the output side of death on the bottom is easy. Part 2. Solving for the output side of death. To actually define afterlife, we need to take a closer look at our ratio. We need to further define what comes out of birth and goes into death. This is clarified by the equation shown here. We define the left ratio first. 1. On top, before birth, we have nothing. 2. On the bottom, we have life with position in time and space. Life emanates from a position within time and space. Now we define the entire equation. On top, before death, we have life with position in time and space. 2. The ratio on the right and the left of the equation are equal. 3. On the bottom, after death, is all of time and space. The output of death is the unbounded space and time that surrounded you during life. Part 3. Defining afterlife mathematically. The equation shown here describes the mathematical structure of life. Prior to death, we are positioned within time and space, like a point. After death, we are all of time and space, like the surrounding universe. This geometric structure is not entirely accurate because surrounding space and time sounds like an empty box. This is not the case. While it is true that we are located at a position in time and space during life, we are also life. Describing life as position does not do it justice. It leaves out the emotional component. Life is rich, full, and vibrant. It is full of people. A point, by comparison, seems sterile and lifeless. When I say that we are position going into the end of life, what I really mean is we are life going into the end of life. The emotional content of life in its entirety is what goes into the birth machine at the end of life as shown here. The key to understanding afterlife is to apply the geometric understanding of position undergoing dimensional change to become all of time and space. On top of that, layer in the emotional content of life itself. Replace position with life. While technically equivalent, life is a more accurate picture of what we really are. Layer in the emotional content of life into time and space. The answer lies in taking life itself and passing it through the expansion that occurred at birth. Life undergoes dimensional change upward in proportion to a point becoming all of space and time. Afterlife is an explosion of life. It is an explosion of infinite magnitude. It happens the moment life ends. Infinite magnitude means that life explodes to become everything. Afterlife includes everything and everybody. Part 4. Afterlife. What will it be emotionally? I've done my best to describe afterlife as big as possible. Afterlife is grander still. As you will see in other sections, our awareness is limited during life. Much of the environment passes directly into memory without the conscious mind being aware of it. Everything includes a lot that we do not know. Everything is much bigger than we know. This is why understanding the totality of time and space is important. The dimensional change that takes place at death is infinite. Afterlife is not a multiplication of life from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. It is a complete dimensional change of life from position to everything. Push whatever you are thinking to the boundaries of grandeur. Afterlife is grander than anything imaginable. Whatever you are thinking, double it, then double it again. You are still not even close. If I had to describe afterlife, it would include the following. 1. You will become everything you know. 2. You will see everyone. 3. You will encompass all knowledge. 4. You will become all-seeing and all-knowing. 5. The term Big Bang comes to mind as in the origin of the universe. We are standing in life now, before going through our Big Bang, where a point expands to become all space and time. 6. In terms of afterlife, we are not even born yet. 7. We will become all time. I know you think that this cannot physically be possible. If afterlife is expansion in time and space, why don't we see it? Here is why. Dimensional change is the expansion of one point in time and space to become all of time and space. Through dimensional change, the one moment of death expands to become all time. It only takes one moment to become all time. We do not exist even one moment after the end of life. However, that one moment at the end of life contains all time. It only takes one point in time and space to become all of time and space. This is how life transcends the physical body. That is also why we do not see it happening. Proof of afterlife is based on the assumption that birth and death are the same event viewed from different sides. The mere act of life coming to an end causes an equal and opposite reaction of life becoming everything. What we become is the mathematical inverse of what we see at death. Inside the person at the end of life is an infinite awareness explosion throughout all space and time. Afterlife, exactly like birth, takes place in an instant. Outside observers do not see it because it happens immediately. Dimensional change is how afterlife works. This concludes Proof of Afterlife by Birth.